actually lost Eurovision.
True.
How did they? I don't know.
We
that
have
was a steal.
picks and bans.
But picks and bans, speed and
breaking. So Sinuous is.
It's open.
It's open.
I like the breaking ban. The breaking ban sounds like a series almost, but
yeah, it does.
To avoid Afi and RL on that one, and they do pick Pool.
Afi will be picking for their team.
Oh, thank
Sinuous.
you, Afi. We appreciate you for picking Sinuous and giving us one more of this beautiful map.
Now we will see map 3. So Pool into Sinuous. What's the counter pick going to be?
I think they're just gonna go for their grip, like their control maybe. Just something they can control.
Vortex.
Okay. Vortex.
I like Vortex.
No, picking Vortex into Afi is scary. I think BDS are gonna pick it anyways, so maybe they're just wasting a pick.
A foreteller at force.
I do not agree with the Vortex pick. You know Afi loves that map. You know they're gonna pick it. Maybe, but what else are you gonna pick? Like they picked Rip, okay.
If they want to pick what?
No, BDS favor off-road control. Maybe off-road the last one here. If
Airwalk.
Okay.
And the random was Frosty.
Well, yep. That is the series. The last one of the day. Pool, Sinuous, Vortex, Grip, Control, Airwalk, Frosty. Okay. I think...
Oh, and KC was first pick, right? Just to remind myself. Good.
Pool is a very interesting map. It's such close margins every time that the rounds become very interesting to watch. It's one of the more competitive ones.
Why did Afi say, please be the right version of Pool?
Because he was very good on a map called Poolside, I think. And it's a
Is that why
joke.
you don't think it's because that there's been an update to the map or something?
I mean, we wouldn't want an update, would we?
Oh my god. Okay.
We would want the map to be, because if you never update it, it's always perfect.
That is untrue.
I don't know. I don't think that. I think that
if you never update something, it's always perfect. People never change. Anything, nothing ever changes.
You are perfect just the way you are, is what I'm trying to say. To you and to chat.
Okay. I think that's a... you're trying to reel it in. I
accept your preference of Nutella and...
I'm like, if you're...
scrambled eggs.
Is it really a healthy thing to say you're perfect just the way you are?
If you're eating scrambled eggs with Nutella, no. I'm trying to help you.
Well, see, so you're backing down on your statement.
No, I'm saying you're perfect, except... Like, you're perfect, but...
Oh, that's a huge early mistake on the very first part of the map that you can make a mistake on. That's gonna give Afi and Aurel a nice early...
lead.
Well, both a lead, but I was gonna say favoritism. Not favoritism, like, benefit, I guess.
Oh, make that 2. Now they're clearly in the lead. Otak clipping the edge of the checkpoint there. Afi jumping into the turn, catching the no slot, going down the hill. Aurel will be right there with him. They know the split. They know the deal. It's about just safing this one in. And Pool, luckily, this map you can crash, but you cannot really fly off the map.
No.
Flying off the map is one of the more costly things. You have to respawn. But here, the worst thing that's going to happen is you hit a wall, maybe lose
and chances, they only really do that if it is that they have to risk it. But you can slow down quite tremendously and make sure you don't slide out at all. And they have Aurel has a second to work with down to Otak, so you can see just how much he slows down. That is the safest identity I've seen in a long time. But it worked out fine.
Looked like he was scared of the temperature. Like you when we swim in the ice water.
I jumped in the water.
You did, but I was hesitant if you were gonna. We're talking about if we're perfect or not. I was scared.
Oh, you were scared that I wouldn't jump in a lake?
Yes.
I mean, I'd jump in a lake.
Okay.
I did that for you.
And
because you told me we wouldn't be friends if I didn't do so. Because you are just the best.
I saved my friendship.
Emotional extortion is what just happened at that point. Okay.
And sometimes you need to extort your friends emotionally to make them join you in adventures they otherwise would say no to. Because why would I?
Well, I mean, I made you do it and you got happy about it. So
okay, you made me do it and I made you do it.
Yeah, so we helped each other. And that's what it's all about. That's what the players are doing here as well. They're pulling each other's PBs And they're pulling each other's paces up to increase PBs to play faster. And we're seeing Afi here tell his teammate, I'm in first.
Really just pulling the PBs of one another here. Great stuff from the teammates. Good synergy. A crash though from Otak. Not gonna PB this round. Afi still keeping that lead ahead of Brandon. And Aurel now not safe anymore as he skinny dips and he skinny almost daps past Bren, but not quite.
But not quite. You can tell it's the 5th game of the day, can't you?
Why? Is it any different?
I feel like it's no. We're doing the exact same cast that we're usually doing.
It's just a bit more podcast-esque.
Podcast-esque.
We gotta find a quiet round where we can start talking about crypto, about unapproved diets, about NFTs,
We gotta put
about
our
side hustles.
tinfoil hats have to go on. Oh, we have a huge mistake coming in from Bren. Afi and Aurel now are once again in a favorable position. KC are 5-1, and it is possible that BDS gets another ace. Otak trying to push in really hard though.
And he might just pass Afi, but no, he actually clips a little bit, losing a lot of speed there. Aurel coming up closer. Now next to Otak with that wide line, might have more speed in the uphill. Is that gonna be enough to pass? Otak not quite, still holding on to that 2nd place before the identity. We've seen players crash this by going too late. Afi and Otak both hit the perfect timing into the underwater turn, still getting that same line, that same gap remains, and it's going to be Afi in first. Otak lucky in 2nd place here. No ace to be had, but this is good for BDS. They'll take that. And 7-2.
And even though it's late in the day, they're still driving really, really respectable times. A 0.38 is great, like 2.2 away from world record. Good paces coming in from Afi. Aurel a little bit in the back, but it's 7-2. We've seen this exact scoreline earlier today. Wasn't it a Big versus KC where KC was down 2-7 and then they still came back?
Yeah, they almost took that map away from Big, but
KC was literally in this exact position earlier today and came back all the way from 2-7 up to like, was it 10-10?
So great comeback here. Ooh, Afi shaky on the landing, still reserving enough speed to remain ahead. Down the plastic and the underwater turn. They get wet wheels, and this slide cancel is a lot harder than it looks. It also feels very counterintuitive to drive, because you're steering towards the right in an upcoming left turn. There's part of my brain when I play this map that told me don't, just keep going left, but it's the fastest line and they all get it. Now, Bren is there up next to Afi before the identity. That's going to be a close battle. Bren with a great inside line. Looks like he gained towards Afi in that turn. Who's going to get first place in this? Bren really needs it for his team right now if they're going to have a say on pool, which was their pick, mind you. And right now, Afi is making them regret that choice, but Bren will have the final say in this round and take first place. And Otak's gonna get third, so they get a little closer to something.
They do get a little bit closer, but BDS does not mind losing the rounds as long as they still get a point or two. And they did indeed get a little bit closer to those 10 points. BDS now needs to get a first, second, or a first and third, and they're closing out this first map.
It's a very, very tough start, especially with that mistake from Bren in round 1. That's part of what they're now trying to recover from. High drift there from Bren. Still getting that flick up to the dirt nicely though, the speed slide as well. But these starts from Afi, he's always up in first before this water part.
Yeah, he is playing incredibly fast. Aurel is up there with him though, consistently.
Ooh, look at the exit speed here from Aurel. Should be catching up to Otak. Set up so widely there, even having to drift early to make it in time for the turn. And Bren taking advantage of that, getting past just barely. Sneaking up ahead, Otak as well.
Look at those three players, 0.05 away from each other. 500 separating those players on that checkpoint. And now as we enter the identity, Aurel is jumping up to second place, and this could be really dangerous for KC. They need to overtake one person. And Afi with a huge mistake.
Could be an ace.
Could this be a reverse ace? Yeah, Aurel needs to push it now. All of a sudden, everything has changed, but Bren is so slow, and it's gonna end up in a draw.
A draw with Bren almost drowning there in the water. Going a bit wide, but a very nice attempt from KC. They could have had that. 5-9 is still doable, but now you really get no second chances. Now it's ace or nothing.
Yeah, Brendan Otak first and second, or they give up the map.
And then we go to Sinuous, Jnic. Sinuous, the second map. You only get to see these 4 players on it. None of which really are full speed players, as you could call them, but good at last season's maps too. The what is it called? Agility Dash was the map with a lot of speed slides, and Offie and Arel love that one, so Sinuous, stylistically quite similar. Offie with a mistake this round, by the way.
Arel, they are doing pretty well here. They're trying to get that ace. They know that that's the only thing they can do. So both of them also getting a really good drift. Look at that breakaway that KC just did. Now they just need to get this final left-hander and then get a good identity.
There's an ace in the wait. It is only about 10 to 15 seconds away if they get this ending clean. But one small mistake and it will be BDS's map victory here. Last turn, they're still holding it together. Arel's getting closer, but he's made a mistake. 0.7 behind. That's gonna be the ace, and they still have a shot at this. Great time.
8-2. I mean, that is this not the exact same situation that
really
happened versus Big? Like they were down 2-7, and now all of a sudden it's 8-9.
I don't want to call it too soon, but as we talked about, if you are in this spot, I would rather be the team with 8 points coming right off the ace. Yeah. Offie and Arel are under pressure here. They're like, okay, it's not a throw though. We're doing so well though. Like, what's happening? And then OTAC and Bren just creeping back up.
We're gonna have to see what's gonna happen here. All of the players, once again, very close to each other. Bren in the back. We need to see, at the very least, a win from KARMINE Corp for them to maintain any sort of presence on this map. But Offie and Arel, they're trying to break away. This drift is where KC last round got a lot of speed, but Team BDS are not giving up just yet. Going into, once again, this final turnaround before the identity. So many players next to each other. Nothing is over quite yet. Is it gonna be Offie or Arel or Bren and OTAC? Final identity. Who's gonna take it home? Offie is gonna be in the lead. Arel right behind. Bren trying to push here. Arel with the outside line, not getting all the speed. Bren trying to push over it. Offie, it's just barely enough.
The battle for first going in favor of KC, but the battle for third, Arel locks it down, secures a draw, and it goes 10-9.
I mean, that was a great showing there from both teams for the final round. Fortunately for Team BDS, they were ahead in the map for longer. They had more HP to work with, if you want to put it like that, and that made them get the victory in the end.
Such a close... Like, think about it. They were down 2-7, and then, you know, they somehow made that work, so... KC, they didn't get the win on their own map, and now they have to face BDS on Sinuous, one of the only other teams that have opted into this map. It's the second time we will see it played. The world record, 1:01.678 from Mime earlier. See if these guys are close to matching that pace.
So, I want to ask you, all the other maps, they're called like Frosty or Speed or Grip. Something that definitely ties onto the map. Sinuous.
Yeah, what's the meaning of Sinuous?
I mean, why is this map called Sinuous?
Because it's a sin to play it.
Well,
apparently it's a sin to play. We never see it played.
In my mind, Sinuous was close to sine, cosine, right? Sine, the sine wave.
Oh, yeah.
The sine wave is just a wave that has a predictable
oh no, it's that time of day.
So, you know, you oscillate, and I think that's why. I think Sinuous means like a waveform or something. And that's...
we're losing focus. We are talking about sine waves instead of the race. This is falling out of control. Looks like a battle between Arel and Bren, being won by Arel.
Great ace for Team BDS.
I just sine wave, Jnic.
No, but I'm right. I'm pretty... Because look, okay, try to take a look at the map while we drive, okay? And then think about waves.
Think about sine waves.
So, it could be cosine waves. It doesn't matter. It looks the same. It's just offset by, pi? It doesn't matter, though. Because just take a look at the waviness of the map here. Like, wave here, and then you go back and forth, you do this loop, right?
Here's my argument.
And then look at these waves as well.
Yeah, but here's my argument. If you build this turn in the map, you're sinning. Okay? Because, well, what is this turn? You slow down from 300 to 170 to get that turn? Okay. It's a little bit of a sin. If you build this, this part right here, you might want to call the map Spinuous, because ice 360. And then you go into this last part, where, if you build this, you might want to call it Speedinuous. So maybe it's just a combination of all the elements. as we see Aurel and Offie on their own map choice looking to ace right now. They have about a 3/10 lead, and Aurel is there with Offie. Up the hill they go, waving back and forth, if you will. 101.
That's a back-to-back ace for Team BDS. Strong showing, strong showing. I still think I'm right. I'm just gonna...
Look to chat for your approval. Chat telling me he's wrong, so you can focus on the game again.
All of chat just said I was right, and I'm very clever and handsome, so there you go.
It's not the first time we're casting and he just goes, wait, then what, was I right? Was Virtual wrong? I need chat's approval. I need to lock this in internally so I can tell him on the couch after the cast, damn, you know that one thing? You were wrong about that.
Well, it's important. But either way, we are still in the match here. Track number 2, map number 2, Team BDS versus KARMINE Corp. This is the last match of the day. Team BDS has gotten back-to-back aces here on Sinuous. And KC are looking to try to bob back just a little bit, but Otak remains in the lead. Bren is not too far behind, about half a second. So Afi is here on a mission to try to deny KARMINE Corp from getting their own ace.
But Bren has made a mistake too. It's not an ace possible yet. Otak will have about a 1-second lead before that slalom uphill. And now we will see if he can hold his own lead. He looks like he will. And it will be a victory round for KC. Now, Jnic, I have another thought. How do we know we're pronouncing it correctly? It's one of the weirdest words.
Sinuous?
You think it's Sinuous?
No, it's because I just read the word as Sinuous. I'm pretty confident I read it right.
But you have words like Arkansas, which don't make any sense.
Well, I mean, that's a name.
It's, well, okay. What's another word that makes no sense the way you say it?
Worcestershire.
Okay, yeah.
But that's also a name.
Or like, okay. So apparently names just decided to be cursed with pronunciations.
There are some words that are just bad to pronounce. But, I mean, you say meanie for mini, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, wouldn't you say that's a very mean thing to say? You meanie?
Your argument was that Minnie Mouse is spelled different than Minimap.
Yeah, it is.
But then you also say meanie is spelled different than meanie.
Yeah, but that happens a lot in English.
But no, but you can't just pick and choose
of
which words
I can.
Oh, this word supports my argument, so I'm gonna pick that. Otak in the lead, Aurel right behind.
Wait, there's a game going on.
Oh!
I was hoping he continued that for the finish.
Did you notice we harmonized?
We did, but he should have definitely backflipped.
Oh yeah, no, he should have backflipped into the finish.
That was a clip waiting to happen, Braden, but a victory will do. 4-8. They're approaching that same scenario from map 1. And now, we will see if they can make an ace happen and come all the way back like they did.
They did really well, but Team BDS are truly putting up a strong fight here. Like, back-to-back aces in the start, even though they're not winning the rounds anymore, they're still getting those points. So, KARMINE Corp, they have to get an ace here soon. Otherwise, they're gonna lose a second map in a row. Now, this is indeed Team BDS's map choice, but you gotta fight back because you lost your own.
Ooh, Otak keeping the gear, doing well, catching up to Offie, getting up to that second place. Aurel also holding on, and here a mistake is detrimental. Now, BDS, they only need a regular victory, and Bren needs to get past both to extend this map. But Offie is so far ahead, it's only really a speed slide left, and Offie's gonna go through this with a lot of momentum. Low line, catching the no drift, now just lining up for the slalom. Offie trying to lock it in, and Aurel even past Bren to paint, almost a prettier picture. A nice time as well from Offie.
Yeah, that's a great time, and that's gonna be Team BDS winning map 2 pretty dominantly, 5-10. So,
I predict they're gonna keep picking this if it's open.
Sinuous?
So yeah, so they did not. I would say they didn't play faster than G1. No, sorry,
ITB and Alliance.
Yeah, but they did play pretty well.
They did play pretty well, but I would be worried picking this against Alliance or ITB.
Oh yeah, no, you gotta value the situation.
And the question is it really worth training this map that much, since most teams will not be liking it, and especially if you get into, let's say, the finals against Solary. It's gonna get banned anyway.
Yes, but so here's what I'm thinking, right? Is if you don't train Sinuous, then you are just leaving yourself vulnerable in pick and ban. Because either you leave it open and suffer the consequences if someone trains it and picks it, or you always have to reserve your ban for that, and then let's say you can't ban breaking against Gwen, or you can't ban control against pack. Like, you need targeted bans against your opponents. So, always banning Sinuous only really works if you're Carl and pack, I think.
Because they're so good at the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's definitely a strategy to just say, well, because you're effectively also, if you just remove one map and you only ban that, you're effectively also making sure that that can't be picked against you, right? You're removing a full map from the roster. And that's a lot of training that you can spend on other maps.
That's true indeed.
But here we see KC, they have this tactic where they go wide here on this third turn to get a lot of speed, then go high on the apex here, and then jump into a bug slide, land in a bug slide here, and then shoot themselves ahead. Look at that.
Ooh, they're making it work, getting more speed than Offie. At least Bren is. Otak's getting caught up too, but the landing will be stable. He will be able to control it out the turn. And RL is half a second behind, but apart from that, it's a very close fight here. For first place, Bren getting a lot of speed on the exit. Also, better setup than the others. Can extend ahead up with this if he can control that landing.
Oh.
Jumped very far, and that looked shaky. Now it's a battle of speed. Does Offie have enough to hold off Otak here? Take round one of Vortex. Looks like it, and this pace is fast too, Jnic. We are looking at a I believe, 0.47 from Offie to take round one.
Solid pace here. So Team BDS gonna get the first 2 points. KC getting a single point, and BDS is starting to dominate. Do you think it could result in a 4-1?
I mean, they might have to add an M to their name the way they're just punishing KC right now. Anytime they make a mistake, it is points for BDS.
Oh my god!
So right now, doing really well, and we'll see if they can keep it up.
Yep. Yes. So, moving past that, we see KC.
We gotta move on.
We see KC setting up for the bug slide once again here. You can see Afi there was on second place, but look how close Otak got. Otak got a bad gear though in the uphill, so he lost a little bit of speed, and that's gonna let Afi come back up. He actually jumps all the way up to first now.
Oh, but the pace is so fast. 0.0 on the track point from Afi. Is getting close to that world record pace. Now this landing that Bren struggled to control. Jump too far left here. You're gonna end up wide on the right towards the fence. Offie not leaving a lot of space available there, but the pace is still so fast, and the speed as well. We could be looking at a new map record here from Offie, trying to beat that 0.2 from Bren set earlier today. It's not quite gonna get there, but a spectacular winning time regardless. 0.43 from Offie.
0.43 is a great time, about 0.2 away from the world record set by Bren. So we have seen Bren drive incredible times here on this map. He just needs to find that pace and then put it back into play.
But this is what we talked about in the first game from KC. They do drive great pace, but they also make a lot of mistakes. That's what cost them and made them lose that game to Big. Now, Offie on this map traditionally has almost never made a mistake. He had a clean streak on this map going into the day. 6 rounds, 4 wins, no crashes. Had a few crashes on this earlier today, but still now driving 0.4s on the regu, it seems, and that's very obnoxious to play against. Bren getting a bug slide, but still Offie without it is going to remain ahead. Otak made a mistake, it looks like, on the bug slide, so passed by RL, and this could be a good round for BDS once again.
Afi is very consistent without that bug slide, so that's really good. KC were hoping that the bug slide was going to give them the advantage and make sure that they could win this map,
from Bren.
But it's not going to be quite enough because Afi is maintaining this lead without it at all, and Bren is not going to get enough speed out of that to overtake, so he's going to hope for Afi to make a mistake. Indeed, Afi actually has more speed and is getting further and further away from Bren.
It's another 0.4. Offie just on demand. 0.4, 0.4, 0.4. What are you going to do against this? Now RL joins him to get their team a 2-point lead.
Yeah, 2-point lead. Definitely a nice start.
They actually need Bren to get closest world record from earlier.
Yep.
To win a round.
They do. Like a low 0.4, 0.3 would be really good. He doesn't have to drive the 0.2 world record, but definitely 0.4 pace is what we got to see here from KC to get up to that first and second place.
But I remember, this reminds me so much of the Offie we saw on Back and Forth last season. It was a map that out of like 13 rounds, he won like 9 of them in the earliest part of the season. Like, he just found a map, just drove it consistently, time and time again, and never really made mistakes. And he's...
Afi made a mistake. Aurel went flying. How is Afi still in first?
Yeah, that was such a small mistake. He was able to control it, and he's still up there. Still 0.2 checkpoint. something that we don't even see some teams get to. So, one of the fastest starts still.
Oh, Bren!
A big mistake there, big respawn right after the checkpoint. He's gonna have to deal with that shaky respawn, but Aurel has it worse. So 1v1 up front, Otak versus Offie. Offie has more than enough speed to fend off Otak, so now he just has to remain on top of the pipe, and he will manage Offie with, don't think it's a 0.4, I think it's a 0.5. So consistency is still there, but a little bit slower this time.
A little bit slower, but still
a
good.
Great time.
Yep. So that's gonna push BDS up to 6, KARMINE CORP up to 4. BDS is getting ever closer to those 7 points, which puts them into the position where they can ace. Now, we haven't seen an ace on this map yet. It's also a very difficult map to get an ace on, because very often, like, one or the other player from a team is going to make some sort of slight mistake.
Yeah, like, the pipes can catch you off guard. We saw the hole there almost making Offie lose control of the car.
Aurel also made a mistake in the start.
Ooh, what a quarter pipe jump from Otak from 3rd to 1st there with that one. Let's see how the KC players can do. Can they get past Offie now with this bug slide setup? We saw Otak had a great start. He's going to come flying through the checkpoint now with the bug slide and extend that lead. And Offie will have a lot of speed to work with, but he's going to be playing from behind this time.
Oh,
Otak.
he's getting close.
Oh,
touched
the bobsleigh.
Bobsleigh. Oh, no. That is so unfortunate. He had a great amount of speed, though.
And that ruins the streak of consistent 0.4.5s, and it's in a round where both KC players are driving great runs, and they could ace right now to take the lead of the map and try to fight back against BDS, try to get closer in the match. Oh, no! Missing the approach, has to respawn. He's going to be passed by Offie with that, but Bren will secure a draw.
Oh, that's 4
missed
points lost.
Yeah, missed opportunity there.
Or 3 points lost at the very least. That's 3 points that they could have gained. Or not could have gained, but they could have taken that 1 point from BDS and adding 2 points themselves. That is a rough mistake to make.
Not what you need right now, especially when it's drawing so close to BDS winning the map. You don't really have a lot more space to work with. The start there was so promising with a low quarter pipe jump, and they again find it, but Offie will be ahead before they enter this middle part where you have made your decision for your line, whether you bug slide or not, and you're sticking with it. Offie going for the low jump, getting it good this time. He's going to probably be ahead after the grass here. Gets the exit right onto the bobsleigh, about 2/10 ahead of Brennan, about 1/10 out of Otak, and Aurel is also there in the mix.
Aurel is trying to push further ahead than Bren. If he can overtake Bren, they're going to jump up to 9 points here. And if we see Otak make another mistake here on the identity, that could be the nail in the coffin here for KARMINE CORP. But Aurel is on 4th. First. That's a huge mistake from Bren. Now Otak has to get this identity without a single mistake. It gets the first, gets the second, gets the 3rd crux there. And now Otak will try to overtake. Oh,
6,000s. Actually got a very clean exit onto the grass and an immediate speed slide to catch up to Offie there, but Offie holds on.
Good attempt on the snipe. That's going to push BDS up to 9 points. We need to see a... Well, KC are going to be looking for that ace, because otherwise they're going to lose.
So this is a great round for them to use this bug slide. Like, they've been doing it already, but this is a round where it's very good to bug slide, because it saves time, and if you both get it, you have the best possible chance at an ace. And Otak with the respawn.
So now BDS will pay notice to that very, very quickly.
It is probably
4.5 seconds.
Here, yeah.
So BDS knows we just full save this. There's no reason to worry about Bren. It does not matter if he gets first. So just get through the map.
But the stats, Jnic, you gotta pad the stats. Offie's on a banger actually. Regardless of Otak's mistake, and he's probably feeling it. When you drive a good run and you get the lines clean, you really feel it, and you wanna complete that run at that rhythm you're playing at. 0.8 checkpoint there is world class, and a low jump as well will leave Bren trailing. He's also had a mistake. Offie on clean run. It's gonna be around 0.4. If he succeeds, Aurel, we are not gonna watch as we see Offie closing it out. 0.4, easy clap.
0.498, that's close to a 0.5, but yes. Nicely done by Team BDS. That's 3 maps back to back to back, and we're gonna jump into map 4.
Not the start KC wanted, losing their first pick and their second pick, and now they're going into BDS's map choice.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking dangerous here. But let's take a look at some of these replays here. Afi with some great consistency, driving 105.4 paces and winning some rounds.
It was just like you could put on just, you know, just an input script, and it would just replay 0.4, 0.4, 0.4. Yep. But it's a human with hands doing that live. It's crazy.
Some great showing here from Team BDS, and I mean, from a loss earlier to like a 3-0 right now, BDS must be feeling very, very happy.
Yeah, and then they're playing a very strong KARMINE Corp as well. Like, BDS, they lost to this team last season. They didn't beat them in a best of 7. KC were the only team to beat BDS in a best of 7 last season.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The regular season. 6-1. Only losing to Bren and Otak.
Well,
but that time, the pack was different. And on these maps, it seems that Afi and RL have found an edge.
We're going to have to see what happens here on Grip. Both of the teams, they're going to go for this inside pillar line to push for more speed here in the exit.
Ooh, Afi getting a good start, and RL pushing ahead as well. So BDS's streak looks to continue. KC need to find something in the end. Now, they do tend to risk that balancing part. If you don't know Grip, it has this very interesting identity where if you go above 190 speed here, your car starts to balance on 2 wheels. Go above 200, it tends to fly off. So you need to really play with caution and not go too fast. Close race, but Afi inches out a lead against Bren and takes a draw for his team there.
That's gonna be 1-1. Now, BDS will happily take anything that isn't an ace to KC's name, because any points that BDS gets is going to be so much pressure on KC. Because, of course, they are on match point.
Yeah, KC needs to do something unprecedented, which is to get a reverse sweep. So far in the Trackmania World Tour, we have not ever seen a reverse sweep game. Only in the Challenger League by Sprout. So they need to do something we haven't yet to see any team do. And against BDS, against second place from last season's playoffs, it is especially difficult, right? But they have beaten the team
got
before.
A lot of speed coming in here, jumping all the way up to dance with first place.
Getting that dirt line correctly. We know the water entry can be tricky though when you have this much speed. Missed by Afi, I think, and RL goes, reverse rolls, missed by RL. Afi goes up into first. Now they have an opportunity, but Afi's holding on in first. Bren pushing with a lot of speed down that hill. Early line to catch up to Afi. Up the hill now. He's actually gained a full car length, but going too wide.
But Afi getting such a good tight line. Bren going way too wide, and he gets back up to first, and it's going to be another draw.
Another draw from BDS. Barely holding on here. They equalized the score. This is their choice. They could close the game, but KC, so far, also impressive by them. They're very level.
I think what has happened is that KC and BDS are pretty equal in skill, but BDS has gotten some really good maps down this season that suit them as well.
So I would say picking Vortex was a mistake. I don't know what prep KC have with the bug slide. Obviously, it looks promising, but to me, that map was just Afi's domain. You picked Afi's map for Afi. So but then again, if they pick Grip and it's this close, who knows, right? But I feel Picks and Bans maybe went really in the favor of BDS because they got a lot of what they wanted.
I do think that KC, with the practice of that bug slide, had good faith that they could win on Vortex. I think that's the thought process.
But right now, they cannot do anything about the past. They can only change the future and maybe come back in this game. Bren so close to slipping off the platform, but he holds on, and he has 2 pink cars next to him. But now they're behind him as he passes both and secures a very important draw.
I mean, that was a great showing by Bren. He pushed everything that he could to make sure he got that first place.
For a moment, I saw his car fall, but then it somehow kept full grip. It was ridiculous.
No, he definitely drifted a small moment there.
Crazy save from Bren. 0.5 as well, a great winning time. And if he had a faster start to that round, could have even gotten close to the world record here. The Gwen record, 101.3, dropped earlier on.
So the players are starting here, round number 4. Bren unfortunately making a big mistake here. Rel also making a big mistake. That's at least good for KC.
KC, this is going to be another draw, I swear. We got draw city here. But this time, the splits actually line up in BDS's favor if the rolls remain where they're at. Offie with a 0.3 lead to work with. Otak just checking what's going to happen. You know, he doesn't need to push too much, but if Offie misses the line a little bit, it's possible.
He's 0.3 ahead, so Otak is going to try to push. He knows he has 4 seconds to work with. Offie is just trying to defend that first place.
Gain the 10th, but now less speed. Offie gaining about a 10th back, and the positions remain. Offie in first, Aurel in third. BDS, the first team to gain an edge here. 1 point ahead, 5-4.
5-4. So that's the first we've seen any of the teams gain an extra edge, and that's going to be Team BDS, which is, once again, they're trying to close out this game. They're trying to get that 4-0.
I'm sure they're tired after the previous game. They just want a quick victory, but KARMINE Corp, this is where you got to have that mental fortitude. If you know that you can win this map, if you see the pace of the opponents, you think, damn, I have way better times offline that I drove in practice that I need to execute now. This is when you need the mental fortitude to think, okay, the 3 maps that have happened, they're gone, but let's focus on the new ones. It's not impossible to win 4 in a row. It's just very tough when you're this far behind to find that motivation to go for it. So far though, they're level on this map, and you gotta start somewhere. You gotta start round after round, just thinking that you can do it.
Indeed. Offie and Aurel currently first and second place. They're
oh no,
showing some really good pace. So Bren also got a very slow exit there, so the transition was not fast. Now we're looking at something that could be a nail in the coffin. This could be BDS getting that ace they're looking for. But Bren trying to push on the inside line. He gets the overtake of Aurel, and luckily avoids the ace.
Clutch from Bren. Otak also getting very close to passing. 5-7 is still doable. It's still doable. I don't want to present a false narrative, but it's still doable. KC are not out yet. They could maybe do something here, but it requires perfection from here on out, because you have so many rounds to play, so many maps to play still, if you want to make this comeback happen.
Oh my god, yeah, they have 4 maps to win, and they're behind on the first one of them, so they gotta start pushing here. Offie and Aurel, they know, they can smell the victory, they can see the light that is the 4-0 bob down, but they just need these last 3 points. Offie in the lead, Aurel right behind, jumping up to second place a little bit faster than Otak. Bren is still there, going for the outside turn line. That's what they're looking for. They are gonna find it. Offie and Aurel trying to get this ace that would lock down this final map, that would give them the match point and make them win the entire series here against KC with a 4-0 sweep. Is it gonna happen? It is so close. Otak here trying to take it away. Bren overtaking Aurel. Bren might see that second place for his own. Otak also overtaken. It's gonna end up in a draw.
And what goes unnoticed here is the pace from Offie. Like, he is, again, just like Vortex, steady 0.4, steady 0.5. He is not, like, he's unrelenting up in first. And the second that Aurel joins him now in a third place, or better, it's over. But that's not the only thing. If they keep drawing like this, and Aurel gets 4th place every time, they're still gonna win. KC are gonna run out of HP, so it's like, you gotta drive 0.5 all of a sudden, every single time. That's not easy. It's not at all easy.
Definitely not, but now KC, they at the very most has to get a second place. Like, they have to get a second place. And Offie and Aurel currently occupying that first and second. But Bren, look at that speed, getting all the way up there next to Aurel, fighting for second, trying to push ahead for first, going into the water section. Is anybody going to slide out, bounce out, or touch a wall? Does not look like it. Everybody gets it clean, and now it's going to be neck and neck, shoulder to shoulder, everybody driving on top of each other. Who's going to be able to get this final section? Who's going to risk the most?
Bren.
There you go. Otak getting such a good right-hander, coming up to first place. Aurel and Offie right there behind him, but Bren is also right there. It's gotta be Otak, and Bren getting the ace.
Oh my god, what a clutch from KC. I'm telling you, it's still not over. If they decide they want to keep fighting for this, and they have made the choice, it's clear as day that they are not done yet. If they bring this to a new map and they can reset the scoreline, KARMINE Corp can still make a win happen here, and it would be very annoying for BDS if they still have to play a new map here. They could close out the game on their own choice, or they have to face KC on their next pick. So a lot going.
There could be another map. True. Anything like so.
Ooh, Aurel with a small mistaken start. I mean, they only need 1 point here.
They only need 1 point, but like, so a draw would give KC the win, and
anything else keeps the game going.
Yeah.
An ace for BDS will also end it, but
Yeah.
here Bren takes charge in first place, passing both pink cars as we go into the water part now. Otak also getting very close to passing Aurel, and traditionally he has been passing it off the crashing the identity. KC are looking to put it to map 5 at the very least. Bren makes a mistake, but Otak picks up where he left off. Aurel is trying to get past, but he will not have any chance of making this a BDS win yet. It goes to map 5 here with KARMINE Corp defending just enough.
That is gonna be another map. This is gonna be KC's map, if I remember correctly.
KARMINE Corp.
The next map will be Control, picked
KARMINE
by
Corp.
Brennan Otak. And you see the replays here. It looked for a while like BDS would have it. A lot of draws came through early, but then we saw just that one ace, how powerful it is.
Yeah.
It negated the 2 wins that BDS had, because it's worth 3 wins.
Yep.
My voice is running out, Jnic. We are running on fumes here.
I mean, we're running
trying
on...
just to get you the last game of the day, the 5-game day. But I hope you're excited for it. At least the players are making, you know, everything they can to make it as entertaining as possible here.
Absolutely here, but they are not paying attention to how hard the casters are having it. I feel like...
Do you feel disrespected? I feel
the
it's
players,
an honor to get to
I
cast
feel
more
the players
games.
should take the casters into account when they play.
Oh, Bren with another early mistake. This happened on Pool as well, crashing the very first turns of the map. And this is maybe a problem with not getting enough warm-up on it before it starts. Otak also almost bouncing out there, but keeping the car on the surface, though. Losing a lot of time to Offie, and now Offie has a 0.2 lead to work with. Or the jump up here. This is one of the most important parts. Got to get good speed before the bobsleigh. Looks like Otak temporarily gains a lot to RL, but look at the speed before that next turn. They're going to be equal, and BDS have the chance of an ace here if all goes well in the ending. Otak needs some great jumps. He also cannot miss a single turn here, but he's past the worst of it. Only the jumps remain.
Only the jumps remain. And we have BDS looking to get that ace. Otak with a quick overtake. Is it going to be enough to get up to second place? It is. Aurel will be having less speed. It's going to be down to this final jump. Is Otak going to maintain that second? Aurel going for the inside line. Might be able to overtake, but not quite enough. They still get the 2 points, though.
8 thousandths in favor of KC. And these are the margins they need. Might not think it matters that much, but 2-1 is so much preferable to 3-0. You can, you only lose 1 point, contrary to losing like a 3-point margin to your opponent.
On to round 2. BDS won round 1. If you just joined, this is the final game of the day. Team BDS versus KARMINE Corp. BDS is on 3 points. KC is on a single point. BDS trying to lock it out here, but it is KC's map choice. Track number 5, round number 2.
Great start for KC as well. Passing both Offie and Aurel before that jump up to the platform. The earlier you land, the more speed you can build. And if you keep gear 5 as well, it's just snowballing so much. Aurel makes a mistake. Offie now in between the 2 French players here, Otak and Bran. And now he's going to be ahead, actually, before that Icy Wheels turn. Otak right by him, though. Willing to challenge for this. The splits are great. The pace is great as well. Could be a mid-110 here between these 2 players. They have to duke it out in the jumps. Otak getting to the jump first, but going very low, almost too low, but that's going to gain him a lot of time against Offie. But Offie gets more speed and actually passes Otak before the last jump. Can Otak make anything happen here and put this round in KC's favor? It looks like Offie has it, but Otak's speed is barely enough by 5 thousandths of a second.
5 thousandths of a second. Incredible. I mean, the margins that these players are playing on, it's just so small, and that's 3-3. They're equalizing it, so
how
getting
clutch is Otak on this map, though? He denied the ace by 8 thousandths, and now he snipes the win by 5 thousandths. Like, the stars are lighting for KC here, but it's only a 3-3 so far. They have 7 more points to go to get to the 10. But if they make this 3-2 on maps, then if you're BDS, you're kind of getting scared. Like, what's happening? Could this be the reverse sweep?
I mean, it is definitely possible.
Oh, Bran, a mistake there. Otak, you're going to have to clutch up once more. Bran not really finding the flow in the start here, but Otak has had 2 good rounds under his belt already, looking for the 3rd, but now Offie is also in the mix. Sorry, Aurel and Offie are in the mix. No mistakes from BDS.
Otak with a beautiful turn there on the bobsleigh. That's going to push him ahead. Aurel getting a lot of speed, though. Is this going to be enough? Offie with a mistake. That's going to push Bren up to 3rd place. And now Aurel is actually kind of worrying that if he makes a mistake, that's going to be an ace for KC. So he's looking to at least maintain the 2nd place. I think if I was...
Otak missing the jump. That's going to put him down to last, probably with the time loss. Aurel will get first, most likely here. That could be the winning round for BDS, taking 2 points to the 1 of KC, 5-4, and the map is again in their favor. But remember, this was picked by KC, and so far, Otak is displaying a lot of pace. Earlier today, he dropped a 1:10.37 and a 1:10.4, so he has a lot of pace on this map that he showed earlier today. Looking to continue that.
He is looking to continue that here. 5-4. Once again, it looks like the favor is towards Team BDS, but we've talked about this before. If you're very close to winning, sometimes the hardest part is just closing it out. We played a game of chess yesterday where it took Wirtual a solid 15 minutes to
okay, that's over-exaggerating it.
No, it is not. It took a solid 10 to 15 minutes to get a checkmate, even though I only had a king and a rook left.
Yeah, but and I still got the checkmate. Thank you very much for adding that detail. Looks like I won the game of chess. I'm intellectually smarting, outpacing you. But so far in this round, no team outpacing the other. Great segue as we go into the next part of the map here. Otak, once again, displaying a lot of pace on this map. Offie, 0.2 behind him just about. And Bren also getting very close to making this the ace for KC. The jump school decided. Offie has had some good lines here. Maybe able to overtake in the jump if he gets it good, but Bren gets it the best, I think. A lot of speed there. Almost the ace still. Otak holding that 1st place. Offie going low, going early, landing early, but it's going to be a regular victory.
And that's going to equalize the score once again, 6-6. Otak has been a really important piece for KC here on this map, huh? He's doing really well.
He's doing extremely well on control, and he's crashing less than in the previous game, which is what lost them the set too big. He's now more consistent. He still had, I think, 1 mistake earlier on, but so far, very clean from Otak. And if he can keep that up, the balance is probably going to sway in KC's favor. More impressed with them than BDS in this map so far.
Okay, picking sides is what the commentator is doing, as the other commentator is being professional and impartial, saying that KC and BDS are both of them playing incredible maps here.
Okay, there's no point being impartial. I want the reverse sweep. Bring it, KC. Let's put this to a game 7 here and give us what we came to see. More Trackmania being played. Bren and Otak right now looking for the ace. If they go to 9-6, that could be so good for them. And I'm not partial when I'm saying this. I want more, Jnic.
You want more here. It does look like you're going to be able to get it because Otak and Bren are fighting for this ace, jumping up to 9 points. Offie looks like he might be able to counter. He's jumping up to 2nd place, trying to get over Bren here on 1st. Is it gonna be another draw? It looks like it might be. Offie is maybe gonna get 1st. Oh, that is so close. Otak and Bren getting 2nd and 3rd, but 0.1 separating the top 3 players.
Tension rises when you get to a 7-7 scoreline. An ace ends the map on the spot, either the entire game for BDS or for KARMINE Corp to extend this potential of a reverse sweep, but a regular victory as well. Just, you know, you go to 8-9 and anything can happen at that point.
Anything could happen, indeed. 7-7. Any ace will lock down the match. KC, if they win, still have to win 2 maps in a row.
Look at that start, though. Otak gaining about 2/10, I think. Just right off. Alfie the only one able to keep up, but that 3rd place battle being fought between Bren and Aurel right now, going in the favor of Bren, getting more speed there. But we can see that Offie has overtaken Otak as well. So it's right about equal, all things considered. Now Bren losing important ground, though. And that means Aurel is pushing closer to Otak. This is looking in BDS's favor at that scoreline.
Offie and Aurel are actually looking like they are dangerous right now. Otak is the only thing standing between Team BDS and getting the victory here and closing off the match. If there's any mistake, that's a very high jump. If Otak makes any mistake or if he does another high jump, Aurel could be pushing it. He does get a low jump. That looks beautiful. He maintains that 2nd place, almost getting overtaken in the end there. Aurel does keep 3rd as well. So 1 point away is what Team BDS is.
They're just 1 point away, but can KARMINE Corp find anything here and extend the game? A respectable time from Offie there as well. That round at 59. Really, really fast pace. And that puts some extra pressure on KC going into this, knowing they have to match that to win the round. Here we see the first jump, and this jump up the hill on control is so important. Otak had it beautiful. He went on land, tilting the car over the edge just like so, and Offie and him match equally there, equal on the split as well in that battle for first, and they both gain about 0.3 on one of their opponents.
Here, Otak fighting with Offie. Bren is in the back.
Ah, too low!
Oh no, Otak!
That could end the game.
That could end the game.
You need to see a mistake from BDS here because there's no other
Bren
save.
has to come up to second place at the very, very least.
And it looks like they know it. It looks like they know it at this point. Arel is driving safe lines here, trying to keep his car away from every wall. You can see he's not even going on the colored borders. He just wants to get these jumps clean and lock it in. You cannot lose 3 seconds. They have surrender the fight for first place here. They just want to get to the finish line, and they will do it. The Cinderella story, the comeback will not happen, but Otak closing out in style with a new world record.
A new world record from Otak, beating his old world record by almost 0.1. Impressive stuff from the French player. Otak, you know, he came in with the attack, and he tried to get the comeback, putting his teammate in the backpack, but it did not quite work out for him.
Did not quite work out on a stack, no cap. And now we're gonna see some replays, but guys, that was the 5th and final game for today. Long day of games, but I think it was a big entertainment to watch.
I think it was a great esport day today. We saw 5 matches. We can take you guys through them once again if you just tuned in or if you didn't catch them all. We had Solary playing versus Sinners. Solary won that match 4-0.
Then KC played Big, which was also a quite dominant game. I think it was 4-1 in favor of Big.
It was. And then we had BDS playing against G1. So BDS and KC both played two times today. And BDS, their first game was against G1. And they lost that one 4-2 against G1.
And then Into the Breach versus Alliance. Also a 4-1 victory.
Yes, for Alliance.
Yes.
For Alliance against ITB. And then we have KC BDS, where we once again see a 4-1 in favor